Hey, what's up guys? Jack from Ace the Job Interview. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over the STAR method. Now, the STAR method is a method used by pretty much a majority of employers out there looking for people to hire. And a lot of people mess this up because they don't use the STAR method. A lot of people already know what this is. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to give you a bunch of pointers that you can use in the STAR method itself. Now, what does the STAR method stand for? Glad you asked. STAR method stands for situation, task, action, and the result. So, situation is the overview of the story. Overview of the scenario, basically what happened or what's happening right now, depending on what kind of story you use. Task is what your role was, and action is what you did. Result, what happened. Seems pretty straightforward, right? So I'm going to go over a specific example, and the example I'm going to give is a service question. Now, if you take a look at my website, you'll see a bunch of templates in there, and the template is related to the question itself. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the template called service orientation. So when an employer asks you, tell us a time when you performed good service and what was the result. So they're hinting at service orientation. So if you wanted to, you can take that template, you can take a look at the buzzwords, the key buzzwords that I've listed out in the exact template, and use them in your story. And that is their checklist, right? That is their checklist. How do I know this? Because I've been to many interviews and I didn't know what was going on. I was just like you. I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting hired until it all clicked. And I wrote down all the key buzzwords from my many interviews, and now I listed them off in the templates. So here's the example. The question is, tell us a time when you performed good service in your organization and what's the result? What was the result? It's not exact question that they use kind of thing, but I'll go over that in future videos. But that is something related to the question itself. So what I'm going to come back with a response is, the situation was in May 2020 date, while working for the Ministry of Health, location. My role was intake officer role, and part of my duties, role description, was to answer the phone calls, redirect the phone calls, and fill out any paperwork or whatever, depending on the situation. And that is exactly it. So now let's come time to the story, because I laid out the foundation of the scenario itself. So the story was, this one particular day, an individual called in. She was screaming, crying, saying that she was going to kill herself because she didn't receive the health care that she wanted. P.S. True story. So that is the scenario, that is the situation that I laid out. Now comes the task. The task is what to do. Right? So in this situation, I put down, my task was to figure out how I can be of service to her and get her the health care that she is seeking. Straightforward enough, right? So that's what I listed the situation, I listed the task. Now comes the action. The actions are basically this. I actively listened to her story, key buzzword. I told her that I would take personal responsibility for her getting the healthcare that she needed. Another key buzzword is personal responsibility. I told her I would be committed to her the entire time she's on the phone call, trying to get her like resources, trying to figure out what was going on and why she didn't get the healthcare, and trying to get her the healthcare. That's another key buzzword, is commit, right? And then what I did was I said I maintained clear communication to her throughout the entire process, and finding out where she's calling from, what hospital it was, etc. Now, that's another key buzzword, is maintain clear communication. So then what I did was I messaged my coworker and I said, I need your help and I need you to contact management, let them know what's going on. I also need you to contact that specific health region and find out what resources and who can get there immediately, because obviously she's claiming that she's going to kill herself. So I did that, and I also said, please be on standby if I need you for anything else. This kind of showed that, hey, we have a good rapport at work. I have a good rapport with my coworkers. And also, basically, it shows that we're all in a team effort, right? So I put that out there in the action. And now the result. The result was that 25 minutes later, a team of staff came to her door from that healthcare region after my colleague called them. They pretty much took her to the hospital and she got the healthcare that she needed. Later that afternoon, she called in. She said that, thank you so much for helping me. Thank you for staying on the phone with me. I finally got the healthcare that I needed. And she gave me kudos. She actually gave me kudos to my management. And in turn, I publicly credited the entire staff, my coworker, management, for a job well done. That was the result, right? That's another key buzzword right there, is publicly credited. Because that shows that I gave recognition not only to myself, right? This is not about me, just me, because, you know, my staff helped me in the entire process. My coworker helped me. My management helped me. So without them, this never would have happened. So I publicly credited them as well. And just, you know, if you want to stand out, you always say lessons learned. So the lessons that I learned were, I learned how to remain calm, because the person on the other side of that phone call is not calm. In this case, she was screaming, crying. If you do not remain calm, that's going to worsen the situation. So you got to learn how to remain calm in those kind of situations. And also, I recommended to my management that we should have suicidal phone training, and so the staff would know what to do the next time it actually happened. Basically, once you say that, once you end with the lessons learned, the interview panel, hiring managers, will be writing stuff down. They may ask you questions which you would have to follow up on. And if you actually use that STAR method properly, like I just said, you pretty much stand out from the rest of the competition if you do it well, and if you do the key buzzwords which I listed off on the website. So good luck in the interviews, and look out for future videos where I discuss more. Look out for all the templates that I put on the website, and future templates that I will put on the website as well. Jag from acethejobinterview.com.